So as of February 16th, 2025, 338Canada has released their newest federal projections for the 2025 Canadian federal elections. As you can see, if we compare this to February 9th, the lead that the Conservatives had over the Liberals has narrowed. It was once 205 seats for the Conservatives and 84 for the Liberals, and it's now 192 for the Conservatives. And the Liberals have broken 3 digits in seats. They are projected to have 101 seats. It is still likely that the Conservatives will win the next federal election if it were to happen today, but the lead is being narrowed. So I thought I'll take this video to explore the trends that we're seeing in federal polling and what 338Canada predicts for the future. And we'll break it down by province as well to see which provinces have had the most movements. I've made a bunch of interactive charts that we can see as well, and we can explore this together. So I used the Wayback Machine to go back in time to see the trends from December 22, 2024 all the way to the latest polling in February 16th. As you can see, back in December, the Conservatives had a sizable majority with the 232 seats predicted, and the Liberals were doing pretty bad. They were projected to be third after the Bloc Québécois with 39 seats. As we saw over time, this is January 5th, the Conservatives at this time were still at a sizable lead. If you compare it from before, they actually gained 4 in the projections, while the Liberals were still losing at that time. They were mostly losing to the Conservatives at this point in time. If you move forward a bit more, you can see that the Conservatives are still leading, and they have increased their lead from 236 projected seats to 237, but the lead is slowing down. The Liberals have also started to catch up now with 2 extra seats. That is at the expense of the NDP, who lost 3 seats from 25 to 22 projected seats. If we go further, we can see that this is the point in time I would say that the Liberals have started to catch up and have started to gain projected seats from their lowest point in being 35 to 37, and the next set of projections we had in January 19th. The projections that they had in January 19th was 41 seats, and they had reduced their deficit over the Bloc Québécois to just 1 seat, and it was at this moment that the Conservatives were at their peak as well, and they have been losing a bunch of projected seats. And we can see that over time they went from 238 to 235 to 220 to 205, and in the latest projections they're at 192, while at the same time the Liberals went from 41 to 44 to 63 to 84 to now 101 projected seats. Now I wanted to look at this provincially because I do admit that the Conservatives are still at a lead, and if the election were to happen right now, they would still form a majority government, and that is reflected through the chart as well. As you can see, most of the provinces right now are colored blue, which signifies that all of those provinces have Conservatives leading. But a lot of the provinces, if you compare from before, when there were no so-called swing provinces, there are a few provinces that are closer than before, and the most obvious ones being Ontario, Atlantic Canada, and Quebec. So let's explore that. I thought I'd make a provincial breakdown of the projected seats as well. Over here we can see that the Conservatives nationally have been losing a bit and the Liberals have been gaining. The Bloc Québécois have started losing as well. The NDP are at an all-time low in this election cycle as well. If you see, Ontario has the largest gain, where they went from the Conservatives at one point having 101 projected seats and the Liberals having 11 to now it being 68 and 50. So the lead in Ontario has really narrowed down, and anything can happen in this province. Now it's obvious to say that all a party would need to win the election is to win Ontario and to win Quebec. and those two have enough seats together to get a majority government. So the lead narrowing down in Ontario is really helping the Liberals here. Looking at Quebec, you can see that something similar is happening there as well. Although the Conservatives were picking up momentum early in 2025, the momentum has kind of reduced now, while the Liberals have been gaining, and now since the start of February, the Bloc Québécois have been losing projected seats as well. It is certainly possible for the Liberals to win Quebec, to get the most seats in Quebec as well. Although right now it is still the Bloc Québécois who are ahead. If you look at Atlantic Canada, the collapse of the NDP gave the Liberals an opportunity to rise, while the Conservatives have started to fall as well. If you compare Atlantic Canada before, which was a solid blue, there are a few provinces now who have a light blue color, with it being New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland is also one extra seat away from being light blue as well. So Atlantic Canada is one part of Canada that is gaining solid Liberal support. There's not much in BC to report from apart from the Liberals overtaking the NDP, but that's not really much to draw. The Conservatives are still ahead in BC. And Manitoba, there was a bit of narrowing down, but the Conservatives have started to gain again. So Manitoba also doesn't tell us much. If you go to the 338 Canada website and look at the projections as well, it is obvious to say that they still predict Conservatives will get the popular vote, and they will, at this point in time, they will get the majority of the seats, and they will get enough seats to form a majority government. Although this is the first time in a long time that 338 Canada's odds of outcome has predicted Liberal Party anything, which is a minority government at 1%. And they've also predicted the Conservative minority government at 25% as well, which is a sizable uptick from the 0% and the 99% of a Conservative majority that they had only a few weeks ago. And you can see here also that the Conservatives losing ground and the Liberals gaining ground coincides perfectly with the resignation of Justin Trudeau as well, which kind of makes sense with how things are going. So let's see how this goes, and if there's any other updates, I'll make sure to let you know about that.